By now, I think we're all familiar with the term iPad baby, and I'm sure that when I said that, I brought an image to your mind, right? We've all seen it. Maybe you're at a restaurant and you look over, and at another table, there's a 2-year-old sitting there on a tablet or phone, absolutely locked into some sort of slop, probably AI generated on YouTube Kids or a stupid computer game, completely ignorant to everything going on around them, ignoring their parents, and being a terror if that ends up being taken away from them. I think we can all agree that screen time has negative effects, especially in young children. It seems like more and more parents are waking up to the benefits of a screen-free childhood, and movements like 1,000 hours outside and screen-free before 3 are becoming more trendy. More and more folks are deciding that they don't want to raise one of these quote-unquote iPad babies. All of this is great, and I'm a huge advocate for screen-free childhoods, but I think there is a much bigger threat to our children's well-being that is not getting nearly as much attention: the iPad mommy. That's right, folks, we're going there today. I know that this is a bit of a touchy topic because it hits home for a lot of us, myself included. But I beg you to just hear me out and listen to me on this, and maybe if you're feeling convicted about the topic, go ahead and make some changes. Hello, fellow mothers. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Sage. I am a stay-at-home mom to 2 toddlers, and I am on a mission to improve my life and subsequently improve the lives of my children. On this channel, I aim to share the simple yet effective changes I'm making in my life to hopefully help you guys improve your lives too. If you end up enjoying this video, it would quite literally mean the entire world to me if you would consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notifications bell so that you can be among the first to know every time I post a new video. Okay, so what is an iPad mommy? Let me paint a picture for you, okay? Imagine a mom. She's feeling stressed out by the demands of modern parenting, isolated due to lack of the traditional village, and burnt out and overstimulated by the overwhelming noises of her children, who are pretty likely overstimulated as well. Society has taught her that self-care and pouring into her own cup are selfish, so she's constantly on the lookout for a cheap source of dopamine. Enter the smartphone. Our phones, and social media specifically, have been literally designed to be addictive. Flashing colors, isolated blue light, and the illusion of community come together to create an experience that registers to our brain the same way that, substances do. I've heard someone describe scrolling, especially on short-form media sites like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts, like playing a dopamine slot machine. Every single time you scroll, you're hoping that the next video is going to be something that brings you that excitement and that quick hit of dopamine. And it's literally such a good comparison. When you start viewing your smartphone habits from a lens of curiosity instead of judgment, I feel like it becomes really easy to notice that oftentimes when you're reaching for your phone, you're doing it because you're feeling stressed or burnt out or depressed. But I've also found the opposite to be true. On days that my screen time is higher, my stress levels are also higher. I'm more likely to react to my children's behaviors from emotion rather than composure and rationality. And yes, I'm sure that you could draw the conclusion that, well, your stress was already higher, so you were reaching for your phone more. But I actually think that that's not true. Oftentimes, I think that I start the day feeling really good, but then trying to be on my phone and constantly being interrupted makes me feel more stressed, which then leads to me wanting to use my phone more. I know that being on social media raises your stress levels, so it's true, that creates that vicious cycle. You're stressed, you use your phone, get more stressed, use it again, get more stressed. It snowballs. And so on and on and on it goes, leaving you an unhappy, dysregulated mess who's more likely to be on your phone and start the cycle all over again. And none of the above has factored the well-being of our children into the mix. We're just talking about moms here. I think that there are so many valid critiques to trying to raise children while simultaneously being attached to your smartphone that I'm honestly a little bit stressed out trying to figure out where to start. I guess I'll begin with the emotional effects. I think that by now we've all heard about the still face experiment, which is back when psychology was in its infancy and rather unethical, to be honest. But basically it measured the effects of a non-interactive parent or caregiver interacting with a child, or I guess not interacting, but keeping their expression completely neutral while they were interacting with the child. And it was found to have devastating effects on their mental health and well-being. And I can't help but feel like we are all unintentionally recreating this experience in our homes. Think about it. If you are like scrolling on TikTok and say like handing your kid a snack, you're not interacting with them. Your face is likely still as you are like consuming this media from your handheld device. Obviously are not devoting your full attention to your child. And this is not to say that I think that our children need like 100% of our full attention all day, every day. But if we sit back and like look at it critically, I think a lot of us would maybe not feel great about the amount of time that we are devoting to social media and our smartphones. Communication is so complex, and especially in pre-verbal children, they rely so much on the context cues that is given by facial expressions and micro expressions. Oh my goodness. Both the ones that they are giving and the ones that they are receiving from us. When our faces are like partially obscured by our screens, or we're like not actually interacting with them, they can no longer see and interpret those expressions, leading to an emotional and communication disconnect between parent and child. I think another thing that needs to be addressed is the time suck aspect of this. When I started decreasing my screen time, I found myself saying like, oh, I don't have time for X, Y, and Z so much less. And I think that if you have experienced using a handheld device such as a phone, you can understand what I'm talking about here. If you've ever used social media, I think we've all experienced that like doom scrolling experience, right? Experience? I don't know. I feel like I'm saying experience a lot. I think we can all agree though that our phones make it a lot easier to lose track of time. You sit down to check one thing, you know, before you know it, it's 45 minutes later, you haven't done anything and you're like looking at weird videos of like cats in Nepal or something. The way that my brain works, I have had a very difficult time disconnecting from my phone. There was one period of time before I became a mom that I just deleted all of my social media apps, completely refused to download them again. And that was a time that I like spent the least amount of time on my phone. That lasted like maybe 6 to 8 months. It was great. I loved it. But I did end up re-downloading them actually when I was pregnant with my daughter, just because I was super sick with hyperemesis gravidarum, kind of laying in bed all day, needed something to do, and short form content was just fun. And then I started creating content, and I found that I really enjoyed it, especially as a new mom. It was like the creative outlet that I needed. It wasn't messy, unlike some of my other creative hobbies. I could do it in little snatches of time, you know, when my kid was independently playing or napping. I was living in a new area, felt very disconnected and lonely, and it helped me feel like I had community. And ultimately, it has brought me so much joy and purpose and fulfillment that I don't feel like stopping. And so the idea of like deleting my apps was just not feasible. So I needed to find another solution. By now there's multiple different products on the market that are physical blockers for your phone. I think there's one called the Bloom Card. The one that I have is the Brick. It's literally just like a little chunk of plastic with a magnetic backing. You can stick it to your fridge, you tap your phone to it or hold a button on your phone, and it locks whatever apps you choose until you physically tap your phone to the brick again. That added layer of friction, it makes it so much easier to stick to your goals versus doing something like an internal screen time limit like on your phone where you just have to kind of like press the button and, you know, it's not that much of a deterrent. I was still finding that it wasn't helping as much though, because I could just like walk over to the fridge and tap my phone. Like I was still getting in there, and then I was not like re-bricking it as consistently as I would have liked. So new strategy. I brick my phone before I go to bed, and I put the brick on top of my husband's wallet. When my husband leaves for work in the morning, he takes it with him. I am locked out of my phone for a solid 19 hours of the day. Pretty much every day. When he's home on the weekends, I try to be conscientious about my phone use, and I'm trying to come up with another strategy for that doesn't involve him just like leaving the brick at work. And those days consistently are the days that my mental health is the worst. I feel like shit when I am able to just access the internet at any time. I hate it. But oh my goodness, the days that my phone are locked are like just the best days ever. Literally, I spend every time just like so happy. I have so much more energy. I have so much more time to do the things that I love. I've been like reading books again. I have like a reading goal of 50 books for 2026, and I'm like on track with that reading goal. I've actually been above that reading goal multiple times. I'm like so much more patient with my children. I feel like I am the mom that I want to be when I'm not attached to my phone. Also, back to content creation, I had been finding myself like putting off editing and posting my videos until super late at night, and then I was like, oh, I really have to like edit and post my video for today. And so I was like staying up way later because it was so easy to procrastinate on it, because like I could just get on TikTok and like scroll or reply to comments and feel productive. But now I leave the camera app and CapCut unlocked during the day. And so I literally can work on my phone if I need to be on my phone, or I feel like I need to be on my phone if I have some time. So my actual work is getting done. I can post my video pretty much as soon as my husband gets home from work. And then I don't have to have like the feeling of like, oh, that needs to be done, like hanging on my head, causing me to procrastinate even more, causing me to doom scroll even more. It's been great. Another thing that's been really surprising for me has been these like micro moments of connection that I've been having that I wouldn't have had otherwise, because I was giving those moments away to Google. It's become so common now that the moment that you have any kind of question, you just pull out your phone and ask Google, right? But now I have Google locked during the day. So if I need to have a question answered, I'm either going to a book, I'm sitting and pondering and like coming up with the best answer in my mind, or I'm thinking about who is the most knowledgeable person in that area in my life, and I'm either texting them or shooting them a call. That has happened way more than I would expect it to, and I've been really enjoying that a lot more than I thought it would. I'll give like a tiny example from today. I was at Target and I was trying to look for a tanning product, and before I could have like looked it up on Google and been like, is this the best tanning product? But instead, I called my little sister, who is very knowledgeable about all things like beauty and skincare. I called her up and I was like, yo, do you like this one, or this one? And she's like, oh, I like this one is good for this, and this one's good for that. First of all, that gave me a much more personalized like answer, because my sister and I have very similar skin tones. What works for her is pretty likely gonna work for me. Second of all, like I got to have a little conversation with my sister, which was very fun. And then thirdly, I was just like not sitting in the middle of Target, like scrolling on Google or on TikTok trying to find out what would be the best tanning product for me. If I have a grilling question, I'll call my dad or my brother. Like, I guarantee for almost all of the questions you have, there is most likely a person in your life who is knowledgeable enough about that subject that they could give you an answer. If not, they could at least help you brainstorm. If all of that fails, at least you've talked to another human being. Like, that is a nice thing. We don't have forever to do that. I'd much rather get my answers from actual humans that I know in real life and have a relationship with than like the faceless, soulless entity that is Google. Also, every benefit that they say comes from lowering your screen time is true. Like, it just is objectively true. Sleeping better? Yeah. My son still isn't sleeping, so like, you know, I'm still waking up multiple times a night, but I'm falling asleep a lot faster than I was before. So I'm feeling more rested even on the little bits of fragmented sleep that I'm getting. I'm more likely to go outside, which is like beneficial in so many different ways. I'm more likely to get things done around the house. My mood has improved, my stress levels have improved, just all of it. It's all so good. It's been amazing, it's been refreshing, and I truly cannot recommend it more. I do have an affiliate code for the brick, so if you would like to buy one, it would mean the world to me if you would click the link that I have in the description for that. That way you get a discount and I get a little kickback for telling you about it. But I bought the brick with my own money. I had been using it for a long time prior to getting an affiliate link for it, and I would tell you about it even if I didn't have an affiliate link about it. Actually, I've made multiple short form videos talking about how much I like it. So I promise, all opinions are my own, okay? And also, if you're not as I don't know, crazy and have as much of like an addictive personality as I do, maybe you don't need a physical object like that. Maybe you can just set screen time limits and follow them. Or you can do like, I've seen some people make like a home for their phone where they have like a little box that they put their phone in so it's like out of sight, out of mind. Maybe that would work for you. Don't buy a product at all, just put it in a cabinet. Like, I'm sure there are loads of ways that you can go about doing this. It is accessible to everybody. I promise you it will improve your life. If not, you can always go back to using it, right? Anyways, folks, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to chatting with you guys again next Friday.